is what you made, sucker. Look at your thoughtful demise. No pun intended, but swallow your pride. I've landed on a planet, god damn it, they just thought it would die.
What up, YouTube? G4Elite here once again, and this video is going to be a viewer's request. You know, one of my viewers asked a question, you know, because I just put out a video saying, reviewing One Piece Pirate Warriors, you know, and I gave it a pretty high, review. I said it was a 8 out of 10, you know. I said it was a very good game. Not a perfect game, a very good game, you know. So they basically asked me, what is my favorite anime-based video game, you know. And just to get this out of the way, it's not One Piece Pirate Warriors, you know. That's not my favorite. The only reason I don't like One Piece Pirate Warriors to make it my best, like my favorite, is because One Piece Pirate Warriors skip a lot of shit. They skip great shit, like the Skypiea arc. That was a pretty big arc, you know, for them to just skip over and act like it didn't happen. You know, the fight with Enel is one of my favorite fights in One Piece, and for them to just not have that shit, it's kind of like, what the fuck? Like, why not have that in there? You know, in the Thriller Bark, you know, that arc too. That arc made Zoro seem so badass. You know, we got to see how strong Zoro really was and how badass of a character he really was. And yet again, this game chose to skip that arc. I don't understand. They chose to skip this arc. You know, at first, I was telling myself they was only going to do the arcs that brought in new characters. They was gonna skip over the arcs that didn't bring in new characters. They was only gonna do the ones that brought characters. So, but then that theory was blown out of the water when they skipped the Captain Kuro arc. You know, they got Usopp. They skipped that arc. Like, they skipped that arc. They skipped the Thriller Bark 1, 2. So it's kind of like they skip too much shit for me. They skip over a lot of shit they shouldn't have skipped over. You know, I don't know if they're going to put these parts in the later end as DLC or something. I have no idea if they're going to do that, but as of right now, that's a real big downfall of the game for me, is, you know, them just skipping important parts to the plot, you know. And not to mention the ugly, repetitive electric guitar they got in there. The music is very annoying in that game. On top of the repetitive gameplay, that game gives me that same vibe of Power Stone. You know, I know y'all guys remember Power Stone for Sega Dreamcast. How the shit's so fun if you got a lot of people. If you got like 4 people, 4 controllers hooked up to your Sega Dreamcast, that game is so fun. It's like one of the best games for Sega Dreamcast. But if you playing the game by yourself, that shit gets boring and repetitive as fuck. And I feel like that's what One Piece was to me. It got very boring and repetitive alone. If I play with somebody else, it's totally fun. I love it. But by yourself, just running around doing this Dynasty Warrior shit, repetitive ass gameplay, repetitive music, and you get bored. After you beat the initial storyline with Luffy, you get bored. You know, that's all I'm saying, you know. So that's why One Piece Pirate Warriors ain't my favorite. And it ain't no Dragon Ball Z games either, although Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 was an epic Dragon Ball Z game. One of my favorite Dragon Ball Z games. Not my favorite anime game, but my favorite Dragon Ball Z game. They showed how to do a Dragon Ball Z game correctly, you know. Tenkaichi series was a miss to me. They was just missing. They was doing too much. I didn't like the whole cut screen in half when you playing against somebody, like if you got 2 players and they cut the screen in half. I didn't like that shit. That I had to find my opponent and all that. I didn't like that shit. I like my classic side by side, same screen. We come at each other fighting. You know, that type of shit. And the story mode was good on it as well. So like I said, that Dragon Ball Z game was in my tops, you know, and it's one of the best Dragon Ball Z games, but it's not my favorite. My favorite anime-based video game, is Naruto Generations and Naruto Ninja Storm. That whole genre of game, that whole thing with Naruto. That is perfect to me. Like, the way they fucking executed everything in that game is perfect. This story mode is compelling. I love the story mode. It's like watching the anime. And not to mention they dubbed it, so I'm not reading fucking subtitles like with One Piece. They dubbed it too, so it's great. You know, they dubbed faster than the anime had dubbed. So I was very impressed with that. The boss battles are epic as hell. You know, there's so many epic boss battles in Naruto, Ninja Storm and Generation. You know, that fight with Jiraiya fighting Pain, loved it. You know, just too many to even count. From Naruto Ninja Storm 1, Ninja Storm 2, and Generations, and what they probably got in store for us for Naruto Ninja Storm 3. Great fights. The online is great too. I love the spectator mode they added in Generations, so it makes online play that much better. I love the ranking matches. I loved everything about that game. I love that freedom of just running around, and I love that shit. You know, it was just great. You know, the one gripe I did have about it was the story mode, running around. They could have made that more in depth. You know, they could have made that shit more in depth. But other than that, my favorite game. If I ever want to play a good anime game, I will pop in Naruto. That game just timeless to me. It never gets old. It's going to be a classic in my book. You know, but anyways, you can hit me down in the comments below and tell me what is your favorite anime-based video game, you know. Like I said, mine is Naruto, so you can tell me yours and hit me down in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't. G4 Liddy here, signing out. Thank you guys for watching.